going on? I think, let me know. I'm hoping this is the case, but I believe we solved the echo from the last stream on this channel and the last stream on my other channel, Trainer DC, but let me know if that's not the case. I checked it before today, and I'm pretty sure it's working. I think we're good on that. But tell me if it's not. There's a bunch of comments already. Hello, Mr. Knuckles. Good evening, Wisdom Cube. Happy birthday, JJ. Hey, Brooks. What's going on? Alright, so I don't see anyone saying there's an audio issue this time. So I think we're good, which is great. Anyways, if you guys don't know or haven't, I appreciate the comment. Thank you for the support on my videos. Anyways, if you guys haven't been watching my channel for some time, I should say, about 2 years ago, I would say, probably started it 4 years ago, but the last one we did was 2 years ago. I used to do a series called Ask D.C Network, and basically what that is you ask a bunch of questions, and, you know, it could be about Cartoon Network, could be about my channel, whatever you want. We'll just touch on them, and I thought it'd be fun to do a live rendition of this, so I can answer your questions live on the air, and hopefully this way we can get more questions answered, because it's really hard to do it in a small, 20-minute video. So we'll try to get through as many as we can. I'm gonna say it in advance, it's probably not gonna get to everyone's question, because there's probably gonna be a lot of them, but we'll do the best we can here. So without further ado, let's get into this. So I see we have a few questions coming in already. It's all right. So we got the first question here from Wisdom Cube. What's better right now, Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network? That's a really good question. And I'll be honest, I don't really pay all that much attention to Nickelodeon right now. I haven't watched Nickelodeon actively since, I don't know, the late 2000s probably. I used to watch, SpongeBob back in the day, The Fairly Odd Parents. Speaking of The Fairly Odd Parents, I actually just got the complete series box set in the mail a few days ago. Shows like that, Danny Phantom. Other than that, I'm trying to think. There weren't really the shows that resonated with me. I watched it until the period of time where the Mighty... Was it the Mighty Bee? I don't know, something like that. There was one with the bees. I don't know. That's when I stopped watching. But at any rate, right now, I don't know what's exactly on Nickelodeon. Cartoon Network also doesn't have a whole lot on. So I don't think either of them are in the greatest of places right now. But as for which one is in a better standing, I can't really speak all that much to that, because I don't really pay all that much attention to Nickelodeon. At least not right now. I haven't been. Alright, next question. We got Mark, the Nostalgia Fan. What's your thoughts on the Warner Brothers Paramount merger? I discussed that at length in a couple of videos. If you guys haven't seen those, check them out. But in short, I think between Netflix and Paramount, I like Paramount better for the company, but I think there are flaws with it. Like, the debt situation is a huge factor. They're going to be, I think it was, 110 billion in debt? Don't quote me on that number, because that's off the top of my head, but there's a lot of debt, basically. And was it 70? Actually, no, I think it was 79 billion, right? Where am I getting 110 from? Whatever the number is, it's a big number that starts with a B in billion. So that's not great. From standpoint of content perspective, I think Warner Brothers Discovery's library, their portfolio, has a better chance under Paramount, just because they have the experience of managing all those studios and whatnot. But on the flip side of that, I feel like Netflix probably would have done more with the different properties they own. So there's pros and cons to each. I'm not in love with it, but at the same time, I don't hate it either. I think both options weren't great, and it's like, pick your poison, basically. And I think the lesser of the two, the better of the two, is Paramount. Nathan Stubblefield with 2 questions. Why don't I like Sonic? It's not that I don't like Sonic, it's just I never got into it. I actually do collect the Lego minifigures for Sonic. It's more so that I just never got into the games. I never got into any of the shows. I played the Black Knight on the Wii, I think it was called, and that was it. And I played like the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games when they did those back in the day. But other than that, I don't really have, experience with Sonic or exposure to it. Do I like the WWE? No, I don't. I don't watch the WWE. Where are we? There's a lot of questions here. And I say this every time, I hate that you cannot just like pin where you're up to, and if you scroll down a little bit, it goes all the way to the bottom because I'm skipping a bunch of questions. Um, I see some funny ones here. All right, let's go to original dude 8177. Have you seen Hoppers? It is phenomenal and one of Pixar's funniest movies since Monsters Inc. Wow, that is a rather high praise for it. I have not seen it yet. I will be seeing it. I probably won't see it until Disney Plus gets it in 3, 4, 5 months, whenever that may be. And that being said, I still haven't seen Elio, so I'm a little bit behind on Pixar right now. But you saying that it's one of their funniest movies, I've seen people say that, but the fact that you're saying, you're comparing it to Monsters Inc. is kind of crazy because I love Monsters Inc. I absolutely love that movie. Fun little story with Monsters Inc. I have it on VHS. I also, I've since upgraded, I have it on 4K Blu-ray too, but I had the VHS of it as a kid. And I remember, I don't remember why she was doing this, but my aunt was sleeping over my house. And I remember my mom, aunt, and I watched the movie together. It's probably like my 18th time seeing it, right? I watched that movie a ton as a kid. And my aunt was so just creeped out by it or spooked by it, or I don't know what it was about the movie, but she had nightmares about it that night. And anytime I mention it to her to this day, she is like, do not mention that movie. I don't want to see it. I want nothing to do with it because she is so freaked out on it, so freaked out by it rather. But speaking of Monsters Inc., I saw that there's a third one coming out, which I really hope it's a sequel past, I guess Monsters at Work, the show, but because I know this, second movie, they did like a prequel. I hope they do an actual sequel this time around, but we'll see what happens there. Goated JTC says, do you think Boomerang's schedule is ever going to get better? And it depends on what your measure of better is, because I feel like it's gotten a little bit better lately. There's been a bit more variety. I mean, to be fair, I will be honest, I haven't paid a close attention to Boomerang lately. I'm going to pull up a schedule while we're talking here. I noticed that over the past, I don't know, month or so maybe, we've had Boomerang airing, I think at like 5 p.m. I want to say. They've been airing Shaggy and Scooby Get a Clue, rather, that weird Scooby-Doo spinoff from the early 2000s, and I watched it a little bit as a kid when it was on. I think it was the WB Kids, but I've never been a huge fan of it, so I have seen a little bit more of it lately. Still not a huge fan, but more variety, new shows to the lineup. But looking at the lineup real quick, can I get this on screen would be the better question. I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can get this on screen for you guys. Hold on. Let's see real quick. I believe I can. Hold on. I think I can. Anyways, whatever. I'm just gonna read it out to you. I'm just gonna read it out to you guys. That's just easier right now because I am not getting it on screen. It's not working. All right, so we have from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Looney Tunes, Pup Named Scooby Doo, Baby Looney Tunes, which I think is a great show, from 8 to 9, 9 to 9:30, Summer Camp Island, 9:30 to 10:30, Flintstones, 10:30 to 11. The Jetsons, Yogi Bear shows on for a bit, Tom and Jerry show, the Looney Tunes show, which this part of the lineup is probably the one that I watched the most at 12:30 with the Looney Tunes show. I hate that it's no longer an hour. It's only a half hour followed by Duck Dodgers, and they play the same episodes over and over and over again of that series. You have Scooby-Doo in the afternoon with Where Are You?, new Scooby-Doo movies, Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, then Be Cool Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. is now at 5 p.m. It's no longer, I guess they got rid of Shaggy and Scooby Get a Clue then. Okay, well that's gone. Then the Looney Tunes. Okay, so I'm looking at this schedule. I'm not going to go through the rest of it now, but it's pretty bad still. Do I think it's ever going to get better? Maybe after the merger, who knows? Do I watch Disney XD? I used to back in the day, but not anymore. Oh, another question on that. Do you watch Disney Channel shows? Not really today. I mean, back in the day, I was a big fan of Gravity Falls. I love that series. I would love to do more videos on it. There's a possibility it might be returning in the not too distant future, which is really cool. I used to watch, what was the other? Oh, Phineas and Ferb. Duh. That was the other animated series I was into. I was really not into the animated series side of Disney and Disney XD. I was more so into the live action stuff. Like I used to watch Wizards of Waverly Place, The Sweet Life on Deck, Sweet Life with Zach and Cody. I used to watch occasionally Shake It Up. I remember watching from time to time for like a period of time. I used to watch Jesse. What was the other one? Good Luck Charlie was a big one I liked a lot back in the day, and that's pretty much it. I want to say. I don't think Austin and Alley too. I watched that for a bit as well, but like that's my extent pretty much with like Disney Channel shows. I was never a huge fan of them, but there were a selected bunch that I did watch back in the day. All right, where are we now? Hold on one second, guys. All right, let's see. Um, oh, this is a really interesting question. We're jumping around here. I don't know where I was up to because I lost my place. But what do I think was the last good year for Cartoon Network? That's a really interesting question because I feel like it's very subjective. Not really. I mean, I don't know, honestly. I mean, I feel like it's all relative as to what you were enjoying and what shows you really like and whatnot. But I think that for me, the 2010s was probably the end of Cartoon Network for me, or like my time really enjoying the channel. I'd say around, I don't know, like the mid to late 2010s. Like after, I feel like after you're asking for the last good year. I feel like when Adventure Time and Regular Show both left the schedules, like that kind of signified the end of an era for me with Cartoon Network. Like I knew things were never going to be the same after that. But I think that's not like peak Cartoon Network, right? Peak Cartoon Network was probably 10 to 15 years prior to that happening. But I feel like that was kind of like the end of an era. Like that was the end of Cartoon Network um, as we know it. And it really hasn't been the same since. And yeah, so that's probably whenever those shows ended, like 2018, 2019, that was like, for me, that was the end of an era for Cartoon Network. Hold on one second, guys. Let's see. I don't know if you guys hear the noise in the background that I'm hearing right now, but I'm trying to figure out what that is. All right, whatever. Anyways, I'm sorry for the distraction. This is like I hear someone screaming outside, and I'm like, I don't know if that's picking up on the mic, but it's distracting me a whole lot. All right, we're gonna jump around. Okay, we have Alfredo and friends saying, for me, it's 2014. That's where it all ended because they aired Ben 10 Omniverse at 6 in the morning. That was certainly a time. I remember getting ready for school, and I'd actually no, I wouldn't watch the episodes when I was getting ready for school because it said it was going to delay me. So I would watch the episodes when I got home from school on demand because they would be on demand later that day. Um, but yeah, that's that. That's the end of Ben 10 as we knew it, at least at the time. It hasn't really come back. All right, let's go back. I think I was up to here with how do I feel? Oh, 2026. How do I feel about Cartoon Network in 2026? I mean, it's not in a great spot. Supposedly, stuff's happening this year. I've yet to see any of that stuff happen. I mean, supposedly we're getting new series, but it's been crickets thus far, which is why if you like, really, lately we haven't been talking about Cartoon Network as a channel much because there's nothing to talk about because nothing is happening right now. And that kind of leads into the next question here, saying, will the upcoming Powerpuff Girls series be greenlit at the 2026 Annecy Film Festival this June? I'm gonna sit here and say I don't know if that show's even happening anymore, to be honest with you. I just feel like it's been so long since we've heard about that series that I kind of just wonder if it's actually going to happen or if it was canned. I don't know the answer to that question, but it's definitely something to keep our eyes on. Mr. Knuckles says my favorite show is Chowder. Do you like Chowder? I absolutely love Chowder. I actually just got the U2's Schnitzel figure in the mail, which is a really cool figure. I don't have it in front of me, otherwise I'd show you guys. Um, I got a couple questions here on Smiling Friends. I do not watch Smiling Friends, but I have heard it's canceled and ending after 3 seasons. I really don't have too strong of an opinion on it because I never saw it, and to be honest with you, from the images and the one clip I saw of it's not my cup of tea. It's not my kind of series, but again, I can't speak too much on that. Let's see. Good. Alfredo and Friends. Why didn't Cartoon Network air reruns of Ben 10 Omniverse? We just did a video on this, I don't know, a few months ago maybe. It's a great question. I don't have the answer to that. It's really, yeah, I did this a month ago. Why does Cartoon Network not air reruns of Ben 10 Omniverse? So if you want to hear me go in depth on it, check out that video. But I don't know. I mean, the shows that they like to air reruns from all the time are all the 2010 series, but Ben 10 Omniverse for some reason is omitted from that, and I don't really understand why. All right, let's see what new questions we have coming in. Let me check for super chats because I don't, if someone made one, I don't want to like gloss over you. But there's so many chats coming in that I'm trying to go through as many of these as I can. Will I do any chowder videos? I mean, if there's something to talk about there, sure, but there's really nothing to talk about there right now with that series unless if I do like a retrospective of it. But in order for me, and I feel this way about every series, in order for me to do a retrospective on said series, I feel like I have to then go back and rewatch said series because I don't really remember it all that well because I haven't watched it since I was little. So like for Chowder, I haven't seen Chowder on the air since the last time they aired reruns of it, what, like 5-6 years ago or whatever that case may be, whenever that was. And I feel like I can't talk about the series in detail unless if something new is happening with it or there's something surrounding it with merch or whatever, unless if I go back and watch the series so I can talk about it in depth, because right now I just wouldn't be able to talk about that series much in depth other than I liked it. Let's see. Do you think, hey DC Network, do you think they should do Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and Disney crossover episodes? I mean, I don't think it's ever going to happen with Disney, but in theory, I'm not going to lie to you. It has crossed my mind that there is a possibility that we do see someone like SpongeBob in an Adventure Time episode just because that's the series that's on screen now, or a character like Danny Phantom in a future Ben 10 series. Like, that is very possible given that, again, we have to see what happens with the regulatory agencies, but assuming this new merger gets approved by them, that is something that could very well happen. They're all going to be under the same umbrella. So I don't know. We'll see on that. Do I watch Me TV Tunes? Brixvid, I haven't seen it. I don't think ever. I think maybe at one point I was sitting with my grandpa since it aired, and he was flipping through the channels, and I saw Me TV's come on, and Me TV's tune was like on at that point in time for like a split second, or just when he was flipping through the channels. Actually, my mom, she watched the Flintstones on it once. I saw her watching the Flintstones on it once, but other than that, I've never seen Me TV Tunes. I think it's like there's someone who keeps commenting on my videos lately. I don't know. I don't remember the username, but on like every video or like a bunch of things I post, there's this one comment calling me a Me TV Tunes hater. I don't know where that came from because I am not. I think Me TV Tunes is a great thing. Like, yeah, I haven't watched it, but I think it's literally what Boomerang used to be, and it's what Boomerang should be now. So I think the fact that it is a thing is a great thing. I don't know where the Me TV Tunes hater moniker came from because that is far from the truth, but that's neither here nor there. Do you think Cartoon Network will ever Do you think Cartoon Network will ever reconsider picking up the Billy and Mandy Destroy Us All TV movie? As currently constructed, no. I don't think they're going to reconsider doing that. I feel like that ship has sailed, and if they were going to do it, they would have done it by now. I think it is a possibility that when, this merger happens, they do go back and take a look at what Cartoon Network series, and not only for Cartoon Network, but just the entirety of Warner Brothers Discovery, what series they own or what properties they own, I should say. I think that is very much so on the table. And regarding that, any series from the past of Cartoon Network therefore has a chance to come back because they're going to take a look and see, hey, what series does this company own that we think has potential today? And I feel like there's a handful of series out there that will be picked up because of that. And my hope is, on top of that, not only that these old series come back and return and get picked up for new shows, but more so than that, I just hope that new shows get a chance. Creators get the opportunity to make series that are brand new. Like, that's the reason why cartoons, right? It's only one plural, cartoons. That's why that is such a great thing right now and such a breath of fresh air, because it gives all of these new creators opportunities to show off their brand new series ideas. And hopefully, if something like A for Angel, for example, is very well received like it has been, maybe it then becomes a full series and we get a brand new IP out of that. That's the hope, at least. I will say two things on that, though. From a timing perspective and a timing standpoint, not exactly the greatest time to be having cartoons come out, because what could end up happening here is, let's just say over the next 2 months, they sit down, being Warner Brothers Discovery, and they decide what shows are getting greenlit from cartoons. I keep saying cartoons. It's cartoons. The name confuses me. But nevertheless, they could sit down and say, okay, we like A for Angel, we like Duck. I don't know. I don't think that's becoming a full series, but I couldn't. That's the first one that popped into my head. We like Fools. I don't know. We like these shows. The one with the rat in the arcade, whatever that one was called, Game Room something. We like a few of them. All right, we're gonna make them full series. And the danger, timing wise, with this is, well, what's about to happen? We're about to have another merger. So what could very easily happen is A for Angel and all these other shows go into production. They get the green light, and then in a year's time, the executives from Paramount, Skydance, Warner Brothers Discovery, whatever they decide to call that company, end up saying, you know what? I don't like these shows. I don't want them to happen. They're canceled. That's the danger, timing wise. The second thing on this I want to discuss is, and I'm gonna have a full video on this so far, and I know I have alluded to this in my community tab, some posts I've made recently on there, but is it just me, or have these cartoons really not been that good? Like, it's going to be a hot take, probably, but I really liked A for Angel a lot. I'm going to pull them up real quick so I get the names real quick, because I remember some of the names, and others, I liked them so much that I forgot about them the moment after I watched them. But let me look up the cartoons playlist on Warner Brothers YouTube channel so we get the names on these. Also, too, I kind of hate how they don't have the playlist easily accessible when you Google it. When you search it up on YouTube, you have to, like, click on a vid first and then get there. Whatever. It's neither here nor there. A for Angel, great, loved it, fantastic. Accordion's Jeffrey and Mary Melodica, I thought it was fine. I don't think it should be its own full series. I could very well so see that being, like, during the commercial break. You guys remember how, oh man, was it like 10 years ago? I think it was like 2013. We had Mixels, and that would happen during commercial breaks. I could very easily see Accordion's Jeffrey and Mary Melodica being that, like these little commercial break shorts. I think that could work rather well. Afternoon Super, I really did not like that one. I don't know. It gave me, like, I don't know, a mix of vibes between, like, Problem Solvers, OKKO, which I know is a great series, Secret Mountain Fort Awesome, which I'm not a fan of, to say the least, and Clarence, kind of all merged together into one, and I don't know, I just did not like it. Bird and Squirrel reminds me of, like, Squirrel Boy, kind of. I feel like it could be, and not because there's squirrels involved in both of them, but I think it could be like that series that has a stay on Cartoon Network for a season or two, has an audience that enjoys it, but then kind of goes away and people forget about it. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I could very easily see that becoming a show. But at the end of the day, if you look at the views for this, it has 80,000 views. It's not going to be greenlit for a series. It's not, like, you look at A for Angel, it has 744,000 views. Like, that's going to be greenlit. Also, for some reason, and again, this is going to be really controversial, For some reason, I see everyone loves Buttons Game Zone. That was the rat one I was referring to before. I just really did not like it. I don't know. It's giving me serious Uncle Grandpa vibes, and I really did not like Uncle Grandpa when it was on back in the day. Like, it really just was a show that if I saw it was on the channel, I'd change the channel. Buttons Game Zone is very much so giving me those types of vibes from that series. I don't know. That's just how I got it. I'm gonna grab some water real quick, so bear with me for 30 seconds. Not even 30 seconds, like 10 seconds. Okay. Excuse me. Then we had Dang, It's Dracula. And I'm not going to lie, I was really bored during it. Did not like it. I've seen that one in the comment section of people saying they really liked it. Duck? I don't understand what Duck is. Like, I know we're taking some time on this question here, but like, I got to talk about this. What is Duck? Like, literally, what is Duck? I don't understand, first of all, from a standpoint of, and I've thought of this, right? Like cartoons is very much so a, being marketed towards kids, right? Not the whole program, because I know the point of the program is they wanted to do shows for all ages, preschool, kids, adults, young adults. And the problem that I run into with this, and I haven't talked about this yet, is I feel like with Duck, I feel like, if I'm a parent, right, and my kid is watching cartoons on the Warner Brothers television YouTube channel, right? And all of a sudden I walk in and I just see this show that looks like it's like a horror series with cursing left and right. You've got a lot of blood, a lot of gore in it. Like, I would not be happy that my kid was exposed to that. And I feel like if you go to the Cartoons YouTube channel, or the playlist, I should say, the image you see at the top is A for Angel, which it looks like, okay, this is something that's safe for my kid to watch. But then you get down to Duck, and if they're watching Duck, I would be pretty annoyed as a parent that my kid was watching this. Because I'll be honest with you, for the first half of Duck, I was kind of watching it with like my jaw open, like, what is this? Cartoon Network made this? This is kind of crazy. But then I feel like with every adult animated series or a piece of adult animation, they go too far with, either the gore or the blood, the violence, the adult undertones, let's just say. I feel like sometimes they go too far with it, and I feel like Duck is a case of that. I do really want to show that to my mom, though, because I think she'd be freaked out by it, and I want to see her reaction to it, but she's never going to watch it. That's neither here nor there. Then Fools, as you saw in my community post, I'll keep this one brief. I don't know what to make of it. Like, I'm sorry. I know it's not meant for me. It's probably meant for preschool audiences, but they were speaking gibberish in the whole thing. Like, I don't know what they were saying, and it's a made-up language they're speaking. At least I think it was. Forgive me if it wasn't, and it's actually another language that I don't know, like, but I don't think it was. And I couldn't watch it. After 2 minutes my mind was drifting, and after 4 minutes passed, I turned it off. That's the only one I haven't watched in its entirety. So yeah, I see. Does anybody have any thoughts on those? If any of those cartoons, let me know. I see somebody, Happy Bookworm, saying, if I was a mom, I would tell my kid not to watch Duck because Duck has blood and gore and swearing and profanity. They go too far, like them saying bleep and all these other things. Yeah, I don't disagree. And that's the funny thing, is I told my mom about that after I watched it, and she was like, I would not be happy if you were still a kid and you were watching this playlist and then all of a sudden this popped up, and I'm like, 100%, 100%, I agree. I don't think it's, again, I think it's good that they're making more adult animated content, but I feel like putting that in the same place where you're putting all of these other shorts meant for kids is really just, I don't know what they're thinking there. It just sounds like a PR disaster. I see somebody, where did that question just go? Okay, SpongeBob fan says, hi, have you done a CN Reel retrospective? I did a video on it recently. I want to say within the past 3 months. As I'm talking, I'm looking for it here. I don't, yes. 4 months ago, I did a video saying, why did Cartoon Network bring CN Reel and live action to the channel? So that's serving as your CN Reel retrospective. If you're interested in watching that, be sure to check it out on the channel. Obviously I can't do a whole retrospective now as I'm not prepared for it, and I don't want this to go on for 30,000 years. I see if the Cartoon Network series Elliot from Earth gets another season, how would you do it? Wisdom Cube, I'm gonna be honest with you, I really don't remember what happened in the first season all that much. Like, very sparingly do I remember that series. And that's the funny thing, is I enjoyed it. I liked what I saw. I wanted to see more from it, but I don't remember it all that much enough to say what I want. I remember there was some sort of cliffhanger at the end with either the dinosaur or the mom or something like that. I don't remember it all that much though, so yeah, I can't really answer that as detailed as I would like to. Sorry. Happy Bookworm says my birthday's coming up soon. Yay. Happy early birthday, Happy Bookworm. Alright, we have Alfredo and Friends. I would be excited if Gwen Tennyson got her own spin-off series from Omniverse. I mean, that was supposed to happen. I made a video on that. Oh, I just came across it. That's funny. 6 months ago, that apparently there was a Ben 10 Omniverse anime in development, a spin-off anime that was going to follow Gwen Tennyson from Omniverse. Which, look, I mean, I think I think not even just the Gwen series. I feel like in general, I don't understand, and I've said this before, I do not understand why you as a network, you as a company, have a huge series, just this massive juggernaut of a series in Ben 10 on your channel, right? You have this massive, massive, massive series in Ben 10, right? And for whatever reason, you just don't want to do anything with it. Not in terms of just even a 6 series, which we know there's a leak that there is a 6 series coming, but in terms of like, you could have this giant connected universe where you just have all these spin-off series, like, and I don't want them to go too far with it because I feel like at a given point it's going to be too much, but like, I am stunned that we haven't gotten any sort of spin-off series in that world. I've said time and time again, the spin-off series I would like to see, and how apropos that image of the plumbers is on screen right now. I want to see a series following the plumbers. Like, how cool would that be to see a series? And I made a video on this, I don't even know how many years ago, going over this idea, but how cool would it be to see a series titled Tennyson following Grandpa Max as the main character in his plumber days? Like, that would be such a cool series. It serves as not only a spin-off to Ben 10, but a prequel to the entire universe. And not only that, but it adds context to the entirety of the original continuity. Why was it that character, I forgot her name, the one who sent the Omnitrix to Earth, why was it that she sent the Omnitrix to Grandpa Max in particular? She says she knows him from his plumber days and thinks he would be good with the Omnitrix, but why is that the case? What exactly did he do with it to gain her trust? That, or do in general, I should say, not with the Omnitrix, it wasn't created yet, but what did he do to gain her trust? Great plot line to explore in the series. Another plot line, Grandpa Max is, he has some sort of a prior relationship with Vilgax. Let's just put it that way. Like, he ran into him more than a few times down the block, right? How did he run into him? What was the conflict that transpired that, you know, Vilgax knows Grandpa Max as this plumber Magister Tennyson? Like, what happened? We could see that as a plot line explored. I believe in one of the retcons for Kevin Levin, I think it was in Alien Force or Ultimate Alien, if I'm correct. It's been a while, but I think he talks about Grandpa Max, that is, that he knew Kevin's father. Oh, how apropos Kevin's on screen now. That's really funny, the timing of things. But he said how he knew Kevin's father when he was a plumber. We could see that plot line explored. There is a myriad of plot lines that could be explored in this series. And again, it serves as a prequel to the entirety of Ben 10. How cool would that be to see? And not only that, that's just my idea for a spin-off show. You know, maybe they don't do that. They do something else entirely, like a Gwen spin-off series, which I feel like is the spin-off show that most people want to see. I just don't understand how you have all these characters like Gwen, you have Charmcaster, who apparently was going to be involved in this anime, and you just don't do anything with them. Like, you could have created this whole connected universe for Ben 10, and for whatever reason you didn't do that. I know there was the rumor, I think it was from Tomb of the Monkey Skeleton, I believe that was the name of the blog. It was some guy who works in the animation industry. He would post like rumblings and rumors he would hear throughout the industry. He hasn't done it in years, I don't think. I'm going to search that up while I'm talking to see if he has done something recently. But he used to do these blog posts, and he basically would talk about all the I just found it. His last post was 2021. Unfortunately, he hasn't posted anything since. But he would post all the rumors and rumblings, and a lot of the series that he talked about would never happen, and then some of the series that he talked about did end up happening. And I'll see if I could come across one of his posts while we're talking here. But basically, he had wow, I actually found it right on the money when I was about to mention it. He had, for example, for Cartoon Network, he had a section of everything they were gonna do, and one of them says Ben 10 completed. That's the you know reboot he's referring to there. It's being completed. It ended. It's over. This was in 2020. Then he says Kevin Levin spinoff, awaiting possible pickup. Awaiting possible pickup. That means that they were talking about making a Kevin Levin spin-off series, presumably, given that this was during the time of the reboot. It would have been during the reboot continuity, which I thought at the time that was a really rather odd show to be making, but nevertheless, the idea of a Kevin Levin spin-off and the idea of Ben 10 spin-offs in general is a fantastic idea. Clearly, it's no stranger to Cartoon Network, given that they were discussing a Kevin Levin spin-off back in the day, back in 2020, 2019, but for some reason it never happened. And I just have to wonder, you have this giant series in Ben 10 that is massively successful, and it just never happens. They just never do anything more with it outside of the original continuity and the reboot, which, look, that's fine and dandy, that's great, but like, you could have made this whole ginormous, connected universe in a franchise, and you didn't do that. So, again, I don't really know what to make of that and why they didn't do that, but went on a little tangent there, so I apologize for my little rant. Let's see, where are we up to? I'm sure there's a bunch of... Okay. What... The Dragon King asks, what is my opinion on the Fungies? Do you think that the Rowdy Rough Boys should have its own Powerpuff Girls series? Are the Rowdy Rough Boys those, like, green guys? Like, I don't remember who they are, I'll be honest with you. But, Fungies, I never watched it. I really don't... Um, it's not a show that really spoke to me. That was at the time where I'm like, I kind of, I don't watch every single Cartoon Network series anymore, because I talked about this in one of the previous live streams, that there was a period of time that I viewed Cartoon Network in the same light that I view Pixar. Pixar is an animation studio that I absolutely love. I watch everything they make, regardless of how interested in it I am or not. I will watch it because I like that studio and respect it that much. But I don't, what I'm getting at is I felt that way about Cartoon Network for a long time. They lost that trust in me in the mid to late 2010s. So I only watch the Cartoon Network series I'm interested in now, and I don't watch everything they put out because I just don't think, I don't think it's that great, some of them. Or just they don't appeal to me. They don't speak to me. I see a question saying, I did a short on Hey Arnold. Yes, if you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm going to try to do some more unique shows in the short series because I feel like we're running out of Cartoon Network shows. Do I remember Recess? I know Recess. I know of it. I know it was really popular. I never watched it myself, though. Yeah, so. All right, let's see where we are. And I'm jumping around here, guys. So if there's a question that I missed, feel free to repost it because it's hard for me to get to everyone. But we have a question here saying, or not even a question, it's just a statement. Cartoon Lover asks, the new Ben 10, or not asks, he says, I should say, or she says, he or she says, the new Ben 10 looks kind of exciting. Maybe I'll check it out. I thought it looked exciting. I don't know. I mean, but I'm not exactly in love with the route it is going down. Let's just put it that way. The fact that it's seemingly going to be another reboot following another 10-year-old Ben. Don't love that. I wish we could get a more, I don't want to say serious show because I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really judge it. But a show that's maybe, following an older Ben, which is what everyone wants to see right now. I don't understand why we keep going to 10-year-old Ben. Like, I don't get it at all. Like, what are we doing? Just make make a more adult-oriented Ben. And you could have multiple versions of Ben that, are ongoing at the same time, but just, yeah, I don't know. All right. Where are we up to? How's everyone doing tonight otherwise? While I'm looking for more comments or more questions, I should say. Artet is back. '06 says, "Do you think Cartoon Network is going to make more new original shows in the future?" Absolutely. At a given point, they have to. They can't survive on, you know, the same five series for the rest of their, you know, time as a channel. They can't. And then is cartoons going to greenlight shows like A for Angel, etc.? That's the hope. I mean, is it going to happen? I don't know. We'll see what happens over time. Time will tell there. And is Sym-Bionic Titan going to come back? All right, I'm going to sip some water real quick, and we will get into that one because I'm gonna that I can talk on that one for a minute. All right, so Sym-Bionic Titan. I I don't know. I mean, I feel like is it a series? Okay, if we look at the series that are kind of, towards the top of the totem pole, if you want to say, in terms of, oh, these could potentially come back for a reboot or a revival series on Cartoon Network, it's 100% towards the top of the list for sure. But at the same time, I don't necessarily think it's likely right now for that to happen, because I just feel like there's they're not really the problem with Symbiotic Titan for me. The problem with it is, as much as I like it, as much as I think it has potential, as much as you like it, as much as people want it to come back, the reality of the situation is it doesn't have the biggest fan base, right? It has a dedicated, loyal fan base, yes, 100%. But I recently, on Monday, made a video talking about Teen Titans and why isn't it coming back for a sixth season? In all honesty, I think that Teen Titans, between the two of them, has the higher likelihood to eventually happen because it's just a more recognizable brand. It has a bigger fan base. And the problem with that statement I just made is, or the problem for Cinematic Titan, I should say, and Gendy, because I know he wants to do it, he's said it multiple times. The problem is that it's not Symbiotic Titan's fault that it hasn't gotten a more dedicated, larger fan base. Like, that is 100% Cartoon Network's fault. Essentially, what you did is you took a show that was doing well after one season on the network critically, and it was doing well from a viewership standpoint, just ratings wise, and you basically cut its legs out from underneath it and canceled it because it couldn't get a toy line. It's like the show did nothing wrong. Gendy did nothing wrong. You can't create a fan base for a series that's that new when you end it while it's starting to, get its footing on the ground and get the show rolling here. So because of all that, I think that it's not the likeliest series in the world to get a revival. But at the same time, I'm saying this. Megas XLR was getting a revival series or a reboot on Cartoon Network. Well, I forgot how many years ago that was, but I made a video on that last year. But it was getting I think it was in Tom Ashton's era, maybe in like 21 or 22, that it was getting a revival. But then Warner Brothers Discovery happened, they pulled the plug on it, and that's it. The fact that Symbionic Titan, the fact that Megas XLR was getting a revisit, revival, reboot, whatever you want to call it, is absolutely crazy, because that means to me that anything is on the table for the future. So again, while I think that Symbiotic Titan, and I want to say, hold on, real quick. I say that not because I dislike Megas. I say that not because I dislike Megas XLR. I like Megas XLR. I haven't seen it in a long, long time, and I would actually like to revisit it and watch it from start to finish. Start to finish. But the problem with it is, it's just, again, a smaller show that didn't have the largest, fan base surrounding it. So that's why it surprises me that that was a series they were going to revisit. But the fact that that was a series they were talking about revisiting means that anything's on the table. And out of all the options we have, I think Sym-Bionic Titan was always one of the more likelier series to get a revisit or reboot or revival or something. So yeah, that's where I stand on that. All right, we're gonna take a quick 30-second break because I need to get more water. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. We're back. Why? That is very odd. All right. My I just fixed this, but let's skip ahead. All right. All right. Well, let's see what new questions we got coming in. Let's check for a super chat real quick cuz again, I don't want to if you did one, I don't want to, not give it to you. Not give you that. All right. All right, I'm going to hold on 1 second. How did I see that K-pop from JJ Bulldog? Did I see that K-pop Demon Hunters won the best animated film and best original song? I didn't, but I know that that's a movie that is really just getting a lot of headlines as of the end of last year. I haven't seen it personally. I don't have Netflix. It's not, to be honest, I don't even know necessarily what it's about, other than the fact that it's called K-pop Demon Hunters. I assume it's about K-pop and demon hunters. But yeah, I haven't really seen it. I don't know a ton about it, but it's definitely something that it's definitely something. Let's just say that. It's definitely something. Okay, let's see. How often do I upload videos? Every Monday and Friday we have full length videos coming up. Then Wednesdays I do shorts, and then on Sundays lately we've been doing shorts from clips of older videos that some people maybe haven't seen before that are still relevant today. Regarding the clips on Sundays, I don't know how much longer those are going to happen for because I feel like I don't know. I feel like they're not doing that well personally, um, and I don't know. Yeah, so I mean, Mondays and Fridays for sure, new videos, long form, shorts on Wednesdays, maybe Sundays, and then if I have extra 1 week, I'll do extra 1 week. Like tonight, we're doing this. So, do I think Ben 10 deserves a theatrical movie release instead of streaming? Do I think it deserves it? Yes. Will it happen anytime soon? Stay tuned for tomorrow's video. We'll put a little teaser out there. Um, what's my favorite Batman movie, whether it's animated or funny? You ask that question. Funny you ask that question. What's my again? Wisdom Cube asked, "What's my favorite Batman movie, whether it's animated or live action?" Regarding animated Batman movies, I haven't seen any. I'm trying to think. I mean, I have right next to me Justice League Dark on 4K Blu-ray. I watched that, but that's more of a Justice League film. I know Batman's in it. But as for movies, it's funny you ask that because I literally just watched Batman 1989 last Saturday. I thought it was cool. I liked it. It's definitely a little bit dated, I'll say. It's definitely got a little 80s vibe to it that, some of it was a bit goofier. Overall, I enjoyed it though. And then the week prior to that, I actually watched the 2025 Superman movie, not Batman, but DC Realm of Superheroes. Also enjoyed it. Didn't think it was like as amazing as people made it out to be, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. And as for my favorite, it's definitely the Dark Knight trilogy. As for which particular film within that trilogy, I can't really answer that question because I saw them so long ago that I don't really remember them all in that great detail to tell you which was my favorite, which was not my favorite. I did like the Batman though, the one that came out with Robert Patterson, I believe it is, or Robert Pattinson, whatever his name is. I thought that was good. I don't think it was as good as people made it out to be though. I saw people saying like, "Oh my gosh, this rivals the Dark Knight trilogy." I would not go that far. And then, other than that, I saw Batman versus Superman. Awful movie. Fun little story about that movie. So I was in Florida with my grandpa, and he wanted to go to the movies, and I was like, "Oh, I'll go with you." My mom and grandma, I don't know what they did, but they did something, and I was like, "There's this great movie that's coming out this week called Batman versus Superman. We should go see it together." My grandpa said sure. I said, "You're gonna love it. It's a great like action type movie, superheroes, like it's really good." We went to the movies, and I don't know how far into it he turned to me and he was like, "Why did you make me come see this? You said this was gonna be good." And I was like, "I didn't know it was gonna be bad. Like that was such a bad movie." But anyways, that's my extent of Batman movies. I haven't seen Batman Returns, Batman Forever, or Batman and Robin. I don't know if I'm going to get to those. Maybe Batman Returns, because I did enjoy what I saw from Batman 89, but I kind of want to catch up more on the Marvel stuff right now because I want to see Spider-Man Brand New Day. Got that new trailer yesterday. It looks really good. Funny enough, and no one is talking about this, for you, those of you that don't know, I am very much so into tech. I love technology. I have contemplated making a tech channel before. If you guys want to see a tech channel, let me know down in the comment section of the chat. Maybe I'll do it one day. But nevertheless, in the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer, I thought it was pretty funny because I think Sony revealed their flip phone, like their folding phone, and absolutely no one is talking about it, which I find absolutely insane because every single Spider-Man movie has used Sony's flagship phone at that point in time. And yesterday's trailer had a flip phone in it that had absolutely no branding on it, and there's no way they are using a. It wasn't a Galaxy Z Flip because it's not, that's not what that phone looks like. It looked more like a Motorola Razr. There is absolutely a zero possibility, a 0% chance that they are using a Motorola Razr phone in their Sony Pictures film. Like, there's no way. That is a brand new Sony flip phone that no one is talking about, which, whatever. That's neither here nor there, but that movie looks really good. So you would love to see a tech channel. Thank you, JJ. Maybe one day. There's some other channels I'd like to do outside of DC Network and Trainer DC. For those of you that don't know, Trainer DC is my Pokemon channel that has been doing pretty well lately, actually. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, which that's going to be awesome. Can't wait for that. So if you haven't checked that channel out, hate to plug myself here, but Trainer DC on YouTube, right here. This is the channel, Trainer DC. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs. If you guys can help me out there, would be really appreciative. Thank you. Do I remember Sabrina the animated series? Is that Sabrina the Teenage Witch? I don't know what that is. Which Batman show is the best? The Batman or Batman the animated series? I haven't seen either of them actually, so I don't know. The only Batman animated series the only Batman animated series I've seen from start to finish is Batman Cave Crusader because there's only been 10 episodes. Which, where is season 2? I want to make a video on that, maybe over the next couple months. Like, what happened to season 2? It has to be coming this year, right? I know they held season 1 back for a year after it was ready. I certainly hope they're not doing the same thing with season 2, although they probably are because it should have come out last year, but that's neither here nor there. Did I see Hoppers? No. We touched on that a little bit before, but I haven't seen it yet. It's definitely, I will see it at some point, probably when it's on Disney Plus. I guess I've seen this a few times. What is my opinion on AI? Not to get like too in depth on it, because I know it's a little hot button topic that can be controversial. I am quite frankly really tired of hearing about AI. I'm going to be real with you. Like, I am very, very, very tired of hearing about it because I feel like everybody's talking about AI everywhere now. It's like AI this, AI that, AI that. As a tech, maybe you're asking this because I mentioned that I love tech. Anyways, as someone who's interested in tech and a tech enthusiast, let's say, I feel like it's a tool that can be used and can be used well, and it has its purposes. Where I have a problem and draw the line with it is I think that the problem is these corporations view it as, oh, AIs are, kind of like, not fail safe, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a way for them to basically get their bottom line down, right? AI is a way for them to cut people's jobs, have AI do these jobs instead of them, and we can save money and, we'll have lower budgets, higher profits, right? That's where I think the problem comes from, because in reality, everything is a tool in this world. It's a matter of how you use it, right? Not to get too philosophical. But everything is a tool, like everything at your disposal. Your phone is a tool, how you use it. Like, everything is a tool. Like, I'm using my iMac right now with a headset on and OBS to stream to you, right? Everything is a tool, and it's all about how you use it. I feel like the problem with AI is there are people who are going to misuse it, and it's already been happening now. And I think that's really the problem with it, is it's such a powerful tool that oftentimes powerful tools end up being dangerous tools. So, that's kind of my stance on it. I think AI is going to help a lot of industries in ways that, to lighten the load on people who work in them, and not in terms of cutting people's jobs, just by giving them opportunities to focus on other things. Like, for example, with the gaming industry, I've heard people discuss how AI can be used for background tasks, which therefore then the people who work on the background tasks can work on the other tasks for the game to make the game just better in scope and just lower development times. I think that's a positive use of it, right? To enhance the production, enhance the work the humans are doing, don't replace the work they're doing. But if you're going to take AI, have it do all those background tasks for game development, then everyone who would be working on those background tasks are either fired from the studio and just are out of job and they're out of work, then that's a bad thing, right? But if you take that, have it do the background tasks, then maybe those people who work on the background tasks are resourced into another portion of that game, building that game out even further, or maybe they form a separate team within that same studio making another game. Again, that's a case where I think, okay, that's helping, enhance things and make things easier for the people working on the project. That's not being detrimental to their livelihood or their jobs. But yeah, that's my little take on AI. Hopefully it wasn't too long of a tangent. Okay. What's my opinion on indie animation? I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really seen any indie animation. Excuse me. I think for sure it's a good thing, right? I think like indie in general is a good thing because it gives people the opportunity to make stuff that otherwise you'd have to get cut through a lot of red tape, get to studios, and I can't, like, for example, I have aspirations to potentially one day make an animated series, right? Is it ever going to happen within my lifetime? I don't know. It's not something I'm actively pursuing. It's just something that, hey, down the line, maybe I'd like to do this at some point given the opportunity. And I think that for someone who is more passionate about making a show, or someone like me who maybe would want to at some point down the line, I think indie animation is a way that it makes it much more accessible to more people to do. Because for me to then make my show, I would have to go to Warner Brothers Discovery, Paramount, Skydance once they merge. I'd have to go to Disney, and I have to go to whatever other studios that are out there and pitch it to them. And then if they don't like it, they don't like it, and I don't get to make it. But then if they do like it, I then have to sell the rights to my show to them to make it. Which that's another thing that I feel like is just such a I don't know what would be the proper word to say on stream for this, but it's really a travesty in a way. Because if you think about it, you're putting all this work into making this show happen, right? You're putting all this work for years and years and years, and you finally get someone who's willing to make it, and basically you are forced to sell it to them. You are forced to sell your series, sell the rights to it. Like this happened, it happens with everybody, but for example, unless if you get a special deal like Danny Antonucci did with Ed and Eddie, which I don't know how he got that deal. Good for him. But for Danny Phantom, late 2010s, I used to follow Butch Hartman a little bit, like his channel. I don't know if he still does it, but I used to watch his channel a little bit. And I remember how he said he really wants to do a Danny Phantom like sequel or something with it. And he was saying how he went to Nickelodeon and was like, "Hey, you guys aren't doing anything with this show. I'd like to buy the rights from it. I'd like to buy the rights of it off of you so I can make something new in it." And they said no. And in that case, it's kind of like you're just being a control freak at that point, right? Because like if you are not doing anything with this series and you have no intention to do anything with it, then why don't you just sell it to someone who actually wants to do something with it? Like, what is the point of you holding on to Danny Phantom if you're not going to do anything with Danny Phantom? If Danny Phantom's just going to sit there and rot on the shelf, then why do you want to keep it? It's just at that point, you're just being controlling of your brands, controlling of your properties, even if you have no intention of doing anything with them. So indie gives the opportunity to independent people, independent developers in the game industry, in the music industry, independent artists, in the animation industry, like we're talking about here. It gives people the opportunity to make shows that they otherwise wouldn't be able to make. So I think it's a fantastic thing. I personally have never really gotten into indie animation and watched it. I'm into indie music. A lot of the songs I listen to, people have no idea who the artists are because they're indie. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I see we have a super chat here, so let's go to that real quick. Yancey, the rest of your name is cut off. Yancey Cobian with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat donation. I appreciate it a lot. What's worse, 2013 or 2014 Cartoon Network shows? I'm going to interpret this as you're saying shows that premiered in 2013 and 2014, I guess, right? Because otherwise, if we're talking about 2013 versus 2014, a lot of the same shows are overlapping because they're airing the same, shows over those years. But let's just look at the list of programs broadcast by Cartoon Network for a second, and let's see what shows premiered in on Cartoon Network in the year 2013 versus the year 2014. All right, where am I? Okay, here we go. 2013, we had Uncle Grandpa, Steven Universe, Beware the Batman. That was it. Beware the Batman's a Cartoon Network original series, according to Wikipedia. I don't know about that. I think isn't that a DC show? Let me check real quick. Let's verify this information here. Yeah, it was produced by DC Entertainment, Warner Brothers Animation, so that was not a Cartoon Network original. Whatever. We had Uncle Grandpa, Steven Universe, Beware the Batman as the shows premiering in 2013, and then in 2014 we had Mixel's Clarence. Oh, that's really hard. Like, that's a really tough one because I like Clarence a lot and I really dislike Uncle Grandpa a lot. So it's basically like Mixel's, I feel like, is a wash. Mixel's doesn't really do anything for me. So it's like a short, during commercial breaks. So Beware the Batman, to me, I did not like that show. So it literally comes down to Steven Universe versus Clarence. And I feel like there's no comparison. As much as I like Clarence as a fun little series, Steven Universe is the better show of the two. So I guess we're going to have to go 2013 is the better one because, I guess 2013 has to be the better one then because Steven Universe is just that good. I do not like Uncle Grandpa at all. Beware the Batman I did not like. Like, Uncle Grandpa, is on my bottom tier of most hated Cartoon Network series. I'm sorry for those of you that like Uncle Grandpa. It's like the Problem Solvers, Secret Mountain, Fort Awesome are all the way at the bottom of the list, and then slightly above them is Uncle Grandpa. Mixels is a short commercial series during commercial breaks. Not a fan, or not that I'm not a fan. I did watch it and I did think they were fun, but it's not a full length series, so you can't really compare them. And Clarence is a fun little series. So yeah, that's my thoughts there. I think 2013 was slightly better than 2014. Also, 2014 is kind of when, things started not happening all that good for Cartoon Network. You know what I mean? That's when things started going downhill in 2014. Although 2013 is when Teen Titans Go came on the air. So, there's that. So, anyways, appreciate the $2 super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I'm sorry, Happy Bookworm, that Uncle Grandpa's your favorite. I don't mean to, don't mean to rain on your parade. If you eat candy, what's your favorite candy? I love Skittles. Funny you say that. I mean, I love candy. Who doesn't love candy, right? Before this stream, 2 minutes before this stream, I had Kit Kat. I love Kit Kat. Kit Kat's my favorite candy by far. I went to Target last night. I picked up, it was buy one, get one 50% off with Target Circle. They had the Easter Bunny Rabbit Kit Kat bars and then the Easter basket Twix candy. Hold on. I was going to say Twix is my second favorite candy, but it's actually my third. My second favorite candy is Bunch of Crunch. Love me some Bunch of Crunch. If you've never had Bunch of Crunch, I feel like a lot of people I tell this to don't know what Bunch of Crunch is. Bunch of Crunch is essentially, if you do not know, the Crunch bars that you like? Those Crunch bars? Basically, Bunch of Crunch is those Crunch bars, but in little popcorn bite-sized nuggets, and I love it. They are so good. Second best candy. Number one, those Kit Kat, for sure. Absolutely. Spider Stomper. Have I seen Unikitty? No, I don't think. I may have seen a clip of it, or the first minute or two of an episode, but I haven't really watched it in full, so. Wait, JJ, did they actually? I know there was talk about it. Okay, JJ, for those of you that aren't looking at the chat right now, says Nickelodeon did announce a Danny Phantom live action film. I don't know whether it's streaming or big screen. I know there was talk about it, but I didn't know it was officially announced. I know it was rumored to be happening, and I think maybe even did Butch Harmon comment on it? I don't even know, but I know it was rumored to be happening, but I never heard concretely that it was officially greenlit. Yeah, it says it's in the. I'm looking right now. Let's look it up. Hold on. According to the Google AI overview summary that has it says it's fan-made. Okay. It says it's reportedly in early development over at Paramount, according to industry rumors and insights, though nothing official has been confirmed by the studio. Creator Oh wow, creator Butch Hartman confirmed a live action script was written years ago with recent positive undisclosed developments, possibly aiming for a Paramount Plus release. Take that with a grain of salt because that's the AI overview. But um, it was officially announced. You have a link to it. I didn't realize that. If I knew that, I probably would have made a full video on it. Maybe I remember I want to start making more videos on other series that aren't necessarily Cartoon Network, which is why you had the Hey Arnold, um, the Hey Arnold short today or yesterday. Excuse me. Today's Thursday. But yeah, I talked about this I think in an Ask D.C network when the report first came out 2 years ago. I think for like a series like Danny Phantom, as much as I'm not a fan of live action animation crossing over, I'm not huge on that. I prefer animation to stick to animation. I do think there are cases where it does make sense because what it in turn does is by making these series into live action, it brings them to other audiences, to wider audience than otherwise would, because unfortunately, whether you like it or not, there's a stigma around animation. It's just the way it is with some people. Um, Although I do feel like with like the younger generations, like young adults, it's kind of better than it used to be with like our parents' generation. But that's neither here nor there. Regarding Danny Phantom though, I think it's a dead series. I think that we kind of don't. How should I phrase this? I think that while I don't love seeing animation take the leap into live action because most times it doesn't really work out all that great. I think that in a case like for Danny Phantom, it's a dead franchise. Like it hasn't had anything in so long that I feel like it can't do anything negative to the brand really right now. I mean, yes, it could be awful and we could all hate it and it could be like this negative perception around it, but that's worst case scenario. Best case scenario is it does well enough that they actually greenlight a new Danny Phantom series in animation. Like, sign me up. Like, I'll take that risk every day of the week. Like, either we have this live action film flop and it's awful, or we have this live action film do decently well that we make more animated shows. Why not? Why not take that risk? I think that's a good risk to be taking. Danny Phantom is still iconic next to Avatar: The Last Airbender. Avatar is definitely bigger between the two of them, but I think Danny Phantom was an iconic series. I think the problem is Danny Phantom's kind of disappeared over time because they don't talk about it. And this comment right after you actually says, "Doesn't Danny Phantom have a new comic series up?" And you said the same thing, JJ. We got JJ on Life Goes On saying Danny Phantom's comic book. They did. Tell me if you've read this because I haven't. I haven't. I don't really read comics personally. I did for a little bit back in, I don't know, like 2011, 2012 maybe. I read like whenever the New 52 first came out, I used to read the Batman comics. I'm going to pick up the Ben 10 comic the day it comes out. I know there's a Danny Phantom one, A Glitch in Time. I'm looking up right now, and I think isn't there a sequel to it coming out too or something like that? Anyways, my question is, as I ramble on here, I if you've read it, anyone has read it, let me know. Is it good? Should I pick it up? Maybe I'll do a video on it. I don't know. But isn't there two? I'm trying to figure this out. Isn't there a Glitch in Time sequel coming out? Right? Am I wrong? Am I crazy here? I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, Danny Phantom Fair Game coming out. Oh, it came out already. It says it came out, a graphic novel published in November 2025. So there's two. There's Danny Phantom: A Glitch in Time and Danny Phantom Fair Game. So yeah, if you've read these, let me know if they're good. Maybe I'll pick them up. I actually almost got into graphic novels after watching Avatar. Well, that's weird. After watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, I almost picked it up. The hardcover sold out for Danny Phantom: A Fair Game, by the way. That's kind of cray. I can't believe I just said cray. That's even more crazy than what I just. Okay. Anyways, I almost picked up the Avatar: The Last Airbender. Let me look it up while we're talking. The graphic novels that were like a sequel to the animated series. I never did. I thought of it because I'm like, I really don't want to get into reading all these. And eventually I just, lost interest in it and never picked them up, especially since I feel like a lot of them are going to get retconned because they're making straight up like a movie and continuations for Avatar in the animation world. So I feel like these animated things are not going to really, be relevant anymore. and excuse me, these comics are not going to be relevant anymore. These graphic novels, and plus, which fact, there are so many of them. Like I'm looking right now, there's the Promise parts 1 through 4. Excuse me, parts 1 through 3. There's the Search parts 1 through 3. The Rift parts 1 through 3. Smoke and Shadow parts 1 through 3. North and South parts 1 through 3. Imbalance parts 1 through 3. Katara and the Pirate Silver, and then the Kyoshi Warriors #1 apparently came out on May 6th. So yeah, there's a whole lot there. But I am intrigued though by the Danny Phantom one. Maybe if I enjoy the Ben 10 one enough, that might be something I want to pick up. How many? 192 pages. Okay, cool. Cray Cray and the Big 26. I know. I'm sorry. Yes, I read both. They're really good. Okay, maybe I'll pick them up then. I don't know. I think I saw a super chat came in here. Yeah, we got a super chat from Yancey again. Thank you, Yancey, for another $2 super chat. Appreciate it a lot. What are my thoughts on Totally Spies season 7? So I haven't personally seen it outside of maybe like a minute to 2 minutes of it on Cartoon Network. The rare times it actually aired on the channel, because that show's never aired on the channel. As for my thoughts on it, obviously I can't speak too much about the quality of it because I haven't seen it. I think the animation doesn't look as good as the animation we had back in the day on the regular Totally Spies. Um, Although I think that it's a good thing to come back because it just adds more variety to the channel, and I don't think that's a bad thing, right? I think more variety is a good thing, less variety is a bad thing. So from that sense, I think it's good. Regarding Totally Spies as a franchise, though, I did enjoy watching it back in the day when it was on Cartoon Network in the afternoons. So I think it kind of works pretty well as a series to come back out of all the shows that you could possibly bring back, because it's already come back before, and that series is kind of timeless in a way, because and I say timeless in the sense of like in universe, because it's just adventures that the spies are going on, so you can keep doing more and more and more and more and more adventures and you won't have a problem there. All right, as I drink some water, thank you again, Yahtzee, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the channel. All right, let's see. Oh, wow, we got a lot of new comments coming in. On the topic of comics, have you read the Cartoon Network comics? They are available on the Internet Archive. I have not. I have thought about, because of the Ben 10 comic last month, I did that night or the night after go on eBay and look up the Ben 10 Omniverse comic. I forgot what it's called, but there's a trade paperback of it that is pretty pricey. I think it's like $60, which I feel like for that's really pricey. I contemplated buying it, and I thought it would be fun to. My idea for it was I was going to buy it, read it, do a video on the channel, because they're claiming, and this is Cartoon Network, Warner Bros. Discovery, Dynamite, whomever, they're all claiming, oh, this is the first time ever Ben 10's entered the comic book realm. That's not true. They've done a lot of comics on Ben 10. I don't know why they're claiming this is the first Ben 10 comic, because that's just factually incorrect. In terms of this Ben 10 Omniverse comic, though, I was thinking of buying it. Saw it was $60, slept on it, found out that apparently they didn't completed. I think it was like only the first part came out, and they never did the second, third, and fourth part. And I was like, I'm not spending $60 on this. I'm sorry, it's not. I don't want to read this that badly. All right, let's see. Really, I did not know this. JJ Bulldog saying, did you know that Codename Next Door, Ben 10, Ed and Eddie, and the OG Teen Titans are top trending on Tubi right now? I'm going to take a picture of that because that is really interesting. Maybe we'll do a full video on that at some point. No, I did not know that. That's really fascinating for a couple of reasons. I think I might have heard about Conan Kizik Story because I think I saw it maybe trending at some point or people talking about it online. And I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. I think this is why I think the Tubi thing is such a good thing for these shows, is because from the aspect of exposure. Because I think when I made the video, I said that from a Warner Brothers Discovery standpoint, why are you selling the rights to these shows when you can air them on your own platform? Like, come on, what are we doing here? But from an exposure standpoint for these series, it's great because you're all of a sudden taking all these old classic shows that aren't really talked about at all whatsoever anymore, and you're, making them available to a just a wide audience, quite frankly, because they are free. It's Tubi's free to stream. And so the fact of the matter is here, I know that Tubi's cartoon, whatever block they're calling, is doing really well, but the fact that you have Codename Kids Next Door trending, the fact that you have Ben 10 trending, Ed and Eddie trending, and OG Teen Titans trending is such a good thing for all three or all four of those shows. Excuse me. The reason I say three of those shows is because I think it matters for three of those shows where it doesn't matter for one of them. I don't think it really matters for Ed and Eddie because Ed and Eddie is not coming back. Like, Danny Antonucci has the rights to it. If Cartoon Network wants to make a new Ed and Eddie show, they have to get his approval for it. He's not going to do it. He has said time and time and time again that he will never return to the realm of Ed and Eddie, even though I would love to see an Ed and Eddie 10 years later or something when they're like in college, or I forgot how old they were in the original show, but I would love to see them in college or as young adults. I think that'd be a really fun series to see, or not even a series, just a movie. I think that'd be really cool to see. Never going to happen though unless Danny has a change of heart. But for Teen Titans, Ben 10, Codename Kids Next Door, I think that matters a lot. I think for Codename Kids Next Door, K&D, I think very clearly that just automatically the conversation is going to arise about the Galactic Kids Next Door. Is this something that maybe we want to do now? Maybe Michael Oline, Warner Bros. Discovery, Cartoon Network, they sit together and they're like, hey, look, I mean, this show's doing really well on Tubi. Or maybe Tubi even comes up to them and be like, knock on the door. Hey, Cartoon Network, what's up? Hey, the shows you rented to us or we bought from you the rights to stream them, right? Codename Kids Next Door is doing really well. Can we pay you to make Galactic Kids Next Door a thing? They then go knock on the door of Mr. Warburton. Hey, Mr. Warburton. Hey, what's going on? Nothing, just not really producing many shows right now. But Tubi called us. They said that they really want to pay us to make Galactic Kids Next Door. Like, you still down for that? Absolutely. Or on the flip side of that, it could have Warner Brothers Discovery go to Mr. Warburton and be like, hey, you still want to do Galactic Kids Next Door? Because there's a lot of interest in this franchise right now, so we could make it happen for you. Great, that's a good thing. Same thing for, Ben 10, we know there's a 6th series in the works, but maybe, just maybe, they then decide to make Ben 10 the original classic continuity return in some capacity. That'd be dynamite. I would absolutely love that. I don't know how likely that is, but that's neither here nor there because they're working on a Ben 10 already, so I don't know if they want to do two at the same time because they have this weird thing. But for Teen Titans, that really is a fascinating one because Teen Titans, as I said in the video on Monday, it's a head scratcher to me why they didn't make a 6th season of this show yet. Everyone wants it. Why did we do Young Justice instead of Teen Titans? I don't know. But nevertheless, I think that opens the door to potentially all of these series returning, which is obviously a positive thing to just happen because why not? Why not make more of these shows? Tubi Save Galactic Kids Next Door? Absolutely. Lunatic Money Man, Lunatic Money Man, absolutely. 100% agree. All right. Let's see what questions we have. Oh, Teen Titans Season 6, anyone? Absolutely. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be able to stream for. I'm just looking at the clock right now. But we'll keep it going for a little bit longer. And we'll see how any other questions people have to come up. All right, we got... What are my thoughts from Wisdom Cube? What are my thoughts on Steven Universe sequel series Lars of the Stars? I think it was inevitable for Steven Universe to return. I'm a little bit trepidatious, let's just say, on how good it will be. I did not like Steven Universe Future at all. Since we're talking about Steven Universe, why not put it on screen? I wasn't a fan of Steven Universe Future at all, so I'm not exactly the utmost confident that this is going to be an amazing Steven Universe show. However, since they're exploring space in it and it's a different set of characters, I think it's more kind of akin to like a Fiona and Cake, how Fiona and Cake is very much so a sequel to Adventure Time, but a spinoff at the same time following different characters, but then the classic characters return in some capacity in that show. I think it's going to be very similar for Steven Universe Lars of the Stars, and I think that it's probably going to dive much deeper into the lore of the gems, and I would not be shocked to learn that there is another alien race that's even more powerful than them that exists out there in the galaxy. So I think that's going to be something really cool to see. Do I remember Tariq asks? I think it's Tariq. No, wait. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. Do I remember? Wait, okay, clarification here before I get to that comment. I'm not a fan of Steven Universe Future. Oh, yes. Sorry, I misread that. Yes, no, I am not a fan of Steven Universe Future. I really did not like that epilogue series at all. Back to the comment before. Do I remember Mucha Lucha? Yes, I do. I watched it a little bit, I think. I don't really remember it, but I watched it a little bit. So there's that. You know, I can't really speak much more than that on it than that. I don't remember. I think it was on Kids WB. Correct me if I'm wrong. What would my animated series be about that is classified information? If I said it here, you know, I can't be giving out all my secrets. All right, what are my thoughts on cartoons? I went pretty in depth on that 1, 2, 3 earlier in the videos, or earlier in the stream, I should say. Excuse me. If you want to hear me go in depth on it, definitely go back to the point I talked about it, because I spent quite some time going over each individual short. As just like holistically, what do I think about it? I think it's a great opportunity for new creators to have their shows get not only the chance to become a full series, but just them as just creators in general, and just as people in the industry get exposure to just the masses. And maybe look, like, this is a possibility as well, and I didn't even say this before, but if I don't remember who created what, but if, for example, I think McGraves made Duck, right? If McGraves' Duck does really well, let's just say, right, and people are like, oh wow, this is really good, you know, blah 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 blah, but Cartoon Network's like, no, 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 it is too dark, too gory for us to greenlight into a full series. We're sorry, McGraves. But maybe someone else says, hey, can you get that McGraves on the line, that McGraves guy? Like, this would be a really cool, like, he'd do a really good job making a horror movie for us, or like an animated horror series or something, right? Like, I think even if these shows don't get greenlit in and of themselves, this creates opportunities potentially for these creators. So all in all, it's a net positive. I haven't been a huge fan of all of these shorts we've been getting. If you want to, again, hear me go in depth on that, go to earlier in the live stream where I talk about that. JJ, did you hear Xylan's show? Yes, I heard Xylan's Showdown's coming to Tubi. Do I think Steven Universe is overrated, Dragon King? Not, I mean, no, I think it's a really good, show. Jack says, I'm sorry if I asked my same question too many times. I was not trying to be annoying, but I enjoy my time here. Have a good one, DC and everyone else. Did I miss your question? If you're posting your question multiple times, that's perfectly fine, because I probably didn't see it. Did I get to your question though? I don't know what your question was. There's been so many questions, so I apologize if I haven't gotten to it. If I didn't, feel free to post it again, and I will give it my shot at answering it to the best I can. I don't know if I could search it, because I feel bad if I missed it and you've been posting it over and over again. That's my question from earlier. If you missed it, I see it earlier. Oh, okay. If and when the Paramount Warner Brothers merger goes through, could we possibly get a Paramount Warner Brothers crossover video game? Oh, this is a really good question, actually. Whether it be a platformer fighter like Multiverses or Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl or something else, why not? I mean, hey, I never thought of that, but that'd be a really Actually, hold on. Let's rewind for a second. Just thinking about this, right? Is there a possibility that Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 3 could be a Cartoon Network Nickelodeon crossover fighter? Okay, hold on. Let me cook for a second, right? Picture the cover art for this game. You have Nickelodeon on one side and Cartoon Network on the other. I feel like you couldn't call it Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl anymore. I mean, you could, but like, it's much more than that at that point. I don't know what you would call it. I mean, you could call it Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 3, and who cares? Like, it's just the title of the game, right? But that would be such a cool game. So absolutely, absolutely, I think it's absolutely a possibility, Jacob T-Bone, that we could 100% see a game like that, and I would absolutely love to see it. And again, apologies that I missed your question earlier. Don't feel bad, posting it multiple times. There's so many questions here that I'm gonna naturally miss some. We're gonna take a quick, like 30-ish second break right now so I can get more water because my throat is feeling dry from talking all this time. That kind of rhymed, and that's kind of cool. Apologies, that was a little bit more than 30 seconds. Had a little running in the hallway with someone, but all right. Jokes aside, uh, Dragon King, I think I might be leaving the stream right now. Well, thank you for joining. I appreciate you joining the stream and your great questions. We have Spider Stomper saying it could be called Nickelodeon versus Cartoon Network All Star Bro. Look at you being smarter than me. That's a very serviceable name. Like that you get. Here's why this is a great name. You get both. Um, Here I'm gonna change to Ben 10 clips since we already had that earlier. You get both. Excuse me, I lost my train of thought. Great name because from a branding standpoint and marketing standpoint, you get both brands in there. You get Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, All Star Brawl, clearly a sequel to the prior All Star Brawls. Awesome. That I mean, hey, look, I put down $60 right now for that game. Just saying, that would be really cool. Oh, this is a tough question here. Najee, you're asking the tough questions, man. DC Network, do you think that the animation industry will get better one day? Also, what's your thoughts? And also, can we still get future cartoons for streaming also still with cable? All right, so let's touch on the first part of that question. I don't really understand the second part that much. Still get future cartoons for streaming. Oh, are you saying like how Warner Brothers Discovery does? Like you get on cable next day on Max? Like yeah, absolutely. They could. Did I just hit? I just hit my keyboard, and that's why this image stream restarted. All right, whatever. Anyways, absolutely they could do that. What was the? Where was I? That distracted me. Do you think that the animation industry will get better one day? I don't know. I mean, I hope so. I mean, the problem we run into is with a lot of things, and I don't want to get too deep on this topic because I could get pretty deep on it. I think the problem we're running into with a lot of things just within just the world and society and stuff, right? Is like things in some industries, just facets of life, right? I won't get into specifics on what exactly I'm referring to, but like things have gotten so bad and like so expensive to just obtain or just buy whatever. Like you cannot, like there has to be a breaking point, right? Like if the animation industry is keeps getting worse, right? Or if it just stays the same, like well, people have to have jobs to like sustain themselves, right? To like buy food, to like live in a house. Like you have to have people who, you know, excuse me, you have to have jobs for these people so they can support themselves. Like we can't all just be coming out of school or whatever. Like you can't have these kids coming out of school. Like this happened to my friend, works in the well, excuse me, doesn't work in the animation industry. Tried to work in the animation industry. He, you know, majors in it in school. He gets out of school and he's living out, you know, in the industry over there, and he then doesn't get a job in a year and a half, and he's living on his own, doesn't have any money, so he has to come back and live with his parents again. And it's like, again, I said I wasn't gonna get too deep on this, and here I am. So the thing is, like, I feel like in general with things like this, like you can't keep getting worse. Like at a given point, like there has to be a breaking point where it's like these things need to get better. As for the animation industry specifically though, like I don't really have the answer to that. Like I don't know. I could see things being status quo and getting worse, or I could see things getting better. Cuz I feel like, to be honest with you, I feel like right now within the animation space, I feel like we're doing really well with like the young adult animated content right now. I feel like that's kind of thriving, and just like the kids animated content's not really thriving as much, or like that kind of like series that's in the middle of the road, like your regular shows where it's like you have this entry point for children, you have an entry point for adults, young adults, like the shows that everyone can enjoy, like those don't really exist as much anymore. And I feel like a lot of things happen in ebbs and flows, and we're in an ebb right now where it's like you know, the point in time we're at right now is not great with animation. Does that get better? Time will tell. Will it ever be the way it was? I feel like 2000s were peak, man. I feel like we had everything back then going on. We had all these different genres, all these different series, and I don't know if we're ever going to get back to that point, but I certainly hope we do. But then also the other problem is that we run into as well, which this is one of the cons I talked about with the Warner Brothers Discovery merger with Paramount, is the less uh, competition creates innovation, right? That's just a it's just something that's true, right? If you have competition on something, that's going to push each other to do better and go forward and to innovate, right? If Paramount and Warner merge, that's two competitors that are now on the same side. So now all of a sudden you take one competitor out of the field, that then creates less opportunities for less creators. Creates less opportunities for these creators, then it's less likely that we get new shows. So it really depends on what happens as time goes on with this industry, and just do more companies merge? Is Warner Brother, Paramount, Discovery, Global, whatever they want to call it, is that going to be the be all end all for Warner Brothers Discovery? Or are they going to then seek out another merger after that? Because then that does put a monkey wrench into things, and it's just it's really hard, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. Well, Cartoon, you know, ZPR Studios. Good question. Good question. Will Cartoon Network studios make more theatrical films in the future? I mean, I don't see why not, right? I mean, I feel like, again, they were such a massive studio back in the day, not as much now. They were a really respected studio throughout the industry. Now it's kind of a shell of its former self because they merged with Warner Brothers Animation. Why not, right? Why not have it become this, studio that makes these theatrical film releases? Like, I don't see why they shouldn't do that. That'd be really cool to see. All right. We're probably going to wrap this up soon, but let's see. We have a flurry of questions coming in. JJ asking, do I think... Oh, okay, well, that just distracted me. A certain Merge Stones comment come in. Why did I cancel Sym-Bionic Titan? It ended on a cliffhanger. Wait, this is DC Network. Never mind, lol. Okay, anyways. JJ say, do you think Paramount Skydance will lay off employees and cancel new animated projects to save money now that they merged Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon under one roof? 100%. 100%. They said that they are going to have $6 billion in cost-cutting measures, quote unquote. Cost-cutting measures is a smokescreen for layoffs, because that's what a cost-cutting measure is. They lay off the people. So 100% there's going to be layoffs. 100% there are going to be canceled projects, whether or not they're animated projects or not. Like, I'll tell you right now, like, I think one that for sure is safe is the Avatar Studios. All the projects they're working on there, 100% those are safe. I'd be absolutely stunned if anything were to happen to those. The rest of everything else, though, they're working on, up in the air. Who knows? We saw this happen with Warner Brothers Discovery. They canceled 36 shows and movies on HBO Max one day out of the blue. They were all coming, then they're not. And then, yeah, we see the situation we're living in here with Warner Brothers Discovery and HBO Max and all this jazz. There's a lot of questions here. I'm trying to see. All right. Murdstone saying, jokes aside, I really wish Gendy Tartakovsky would go back and finish the show. It got written off as a tax write-off after Stu Schneider left the network. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I don't really know too much about, I'll be honest with you here. Like, Gendy, for sure, we know he wants to make it. I just don't think, as I was saying before, I don't think there's enough just talk about it for them to get it to be made. Like, something big has to happen for that series where it's trending, maybe on Tubi if it goes to Tubi, if it's not already on there. That gets people to talk about it and then get that show to be made. But the aspect of this that I really don't know about is if you have a show that's a tax write-off, does that in turn then prevent that series from coming back again, or from getting a DVD release, or from anything really like positive that you could get money from, revenue from, happen with that series? Like, how does that work? I don't really have the answer to that, and I don't know. Ooh, really good question, Spider Stomper here. Do I think that Paramount, as you hear me scraping my mic, I'm sure, do I think that Paramount will make a Ben 10 Studios once they merge with Warner? I think they should. Do I think they will? I'd say 50-50. Like, the fact that Avatar has one, I'd argue Ben 10's a bigger franchise than Avatar was at their peak. Like, today, if you ask me which is the bigger franchise, it's absolutely Avatar. And this is actually, this is the perfect example of what I was saying earlier about Danny Phantom, how sometimes a live action series sets forth more animated projects, right? Avatar The Last Airbender goes to Netflix, right? They create this live action Avatar The Last Airbender series, which I personally am not in love with the idea of having a live action Avatar, neither here nor there. Nevertheless, the show's on the air. It's doing well. It's getting a second season on Netflix. Same thing's happening with One Piece too. Another example, actually, we could get into after this. But it gets its second season, has a live action show. They start up the studio because of how many people are watching Avatar on Netflix, and now we're getting more animated stuff in Aang the Last Airbender and Avatar 7 Havens, which I know Aang the Last Airbender is coming this year. Is Avatar 7 Havens supposed to come this year? I think so, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Anywho, what I'm getting at here is same thing happened to One Piece. You know, One Piece gets this live action series on Netflix. Obviously, it's an anime from Japan. I've never seen the show before. I would like to see the show, but I'm not watching 1,400 episodes. I'm sorry. There's just way too much there for me to watch. But what in turn happens is this series is doing well on Netflix. They're having this live action show that got a Lego line, which is crazy. I have been buying some of the Lego minifigures. I have the Going Merry Lego set, and then I got some of the figures for Buggy the Clown and Arlong. Even though I don't really know who any of them are because I've never seen the show. Like, One Piece is a show that I feel like if I watched it, I'd absolutely get into it, but I don't want to watch it because I'm not watching 1,400 episodes. However, the live action One Piece series, not Avatar, is doing so well that Netflix, I think it was what studio they partnered with, where they're making a brand new anime revival or reboot of it, or retelling of the story for modern audiences. I will jump on that when it comes out because I presume they're going to make it more concise because it's not an anime that's almost 30 years old, right? They're going to make it more concise, probably improve the pacing of it, assuming it had pacing issues. I don't know. I haven't seen it. And then that will be a way for a new entry point for people like me who've never seen this show before, but maybe are interested in it because there's just too much of it. So, yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, what was I lost my train of thought in all honesty. I forgot what question I was answering here. Was this the question about the Ben 10 studio? I think it was. So do I think they'll make a Ben 10 studio? 50-50. If something massive happens with Ben 10, like they make a live action movie or something and it does really well, or a live action series, or maybe it continues to do really well on Tubi, maybe this 6 series comes out and does really well, I don't know, but point being, or even the comic, maybe the comic's really successful and then they look at this and they're like, oh, we should do more with Ben 10, let's make a studio for it. Or they just get this property and they're like, why is this thing not bigger than it is right now? Because it should be pretty big right now, let's make a studio surrounding it. So I would say it's 50-50 right now because I really don't know how the company's going to view this. And also, too, I will say why part of my reasoning for 50-50 is if this company is going to be $79 billion in debt or whatever the number is, I don't know if they're going to be then founding new studios and creating new studios because that's going to cost them more money, right? Although the fastest way to recoup debt, to make money is to make new stuff that's successful. So like that would in turn help them, but I don't know if they're going to want to take out more capital to found this new studio to make a bunch of Ben 10 stuff because of their debt. So I'd say 50-50. If I was running the show though, if debt wasn't an issue, I think, 100% they should be doing this. But like, unfortunately, there's other powers that be that may prevent this from happening. JJ says, I'd love to see a Ben 10 studio. Me too, man. Lunatic Money Man says Ben 10 better get another live action movie. Stay tuned to the channel tomorrow morning when I post my new video because it might be. Jacob T-Bone says, hey man, I'm back. I just wanted to see if you answered my question, and you did. Thank you very much. I'm glad you liked my question. Again, you all have a good day. No problem, man. Appreciate the question. Thank you for sticking around before and now coming back. I'm glad I got to answer it for you because it was, again, a great question. Where are we? Do I think Avatar Studios is taking too long to release content because of the Aang movie is now streaming only now? Well, I don't think the Aang movie has anything to do with like them taking long or not. I'll be honest with you. When they announced the Avatar studio, I was not a fan of Avatar because I had never seen it before. I think they founded it 4 years ago. Am I right there? When did Avatar Studios get founded? I'm not even sure. I think it was 22 or 23, right? Let's find out. Never mind. Avatar Studios was officially founded on February 24th, 2021. I mean, look, all right, animation takes time. I understand that. I know people, comment that all the time on my videos, but Avatar 7 Havens is 2027. That's not even this year. So look, I know animation takes time. I'm very aware of that. I'm cognizant of that. I know it's not easy, right? But I feel like for you to found a studio back in 2021 in February 5 years ago. It's been over 5 years at this point, and by the time this movie comes out, we're going to be looking at almost 6 years since the studio was founded for anything to come out. It's a little crazy to me. It's a little absurd to me. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna say prior to knowing the timeline that I do think they're taking a bit too long with this, but the fact that it's been almost 6 years, well, it's been over 5 years, but by the time this movie comes out at the end of 26, it's gonna be nearly 6 years, like 3 months shy or 4 months shy of it. That's kind of crazy. And the fact of the matter is, that's not even a TV series. It's just a one-time movie, and then Avatar: Seven Havens is not even until at some point next year. So if it's at the end of next year, that's 6 years or gonna be that's gonna be going on 7 years. Excuse me. If it's like yeah, if it's like November, October 2027, it's gonna be 7 years since that studio was founded in February of 28. So we're a few months shy of 7 years. Craziness. That's to me absolutely absurd. Have I seen Infinity Train, and if so, what are your opinions on it? Yes, I have seen Infinity Train. I love it. I think it's great. Very disappointed that it didn't get completed on Cartoon Network. I've been thinking of doing something pretty cool with Infinity Train lately. If when Dennis ever comes across this, shoot me a DM on Twitter. I'd love to talk to you about Infinity Train because I have some cool ideas about that show, and I would love to talk about it with you, or hear more about it. In all honesty, we'll see what happens there. All right, where are we up to? Caro says you're ignoring my question because I'm spamming. Now, I'm not ignoring your question, man. I straight up didn't see it because there's a lot of questions on this stream and I'm running all over the place. Ben 10 Omniverse at the end revealed that Vilgax and Malware were returning at the end. Where is that drop plot line? Well, unfortunately, I don't remember that personally. Um, I don't remember them returning at the end, but the show got canceled. That's what happened. It's unfortunate, but they decided to not make more Ben Prime. Then they decided to reboot the whole thing, so that's what happened. I know they wanted to do a road trip. I don't remember anything about Vilgax and Malware though. I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I know we had the two earlier, which I appreciate so much. Thank you. No problem, Caro. No problem. Have I seen any new Powerpuff Girl movie or series rumors? No, there's nothing, man. There's nothing going on with that right now, unfortunately. Alright, probably one or two more questions, then I think we're going to call it a night, guys. Any thoughts on the Loud House? I never saw it. I know it was like rather large at one point. Um, yeah, I don't know. I see JJ saying here that Loud House killed Nickelodeon. I don't know. I feel like their reliance on SpongeBob killed Nickelodeon. That series has been on for too long. Like, I love SpongeBob back in the day. I loved SpongeBob back in the day. I have the first 250 episodes on DVD, but like at a given point, I feel like after season 4, maybe 5, where it was going on a bit too long. Now I like literally like I will I will, and I want to make a video on Nicktoons. I really do, because I think it has something to do with like the future of Cartoon Network in a way, which we'll get to in a future video. Maybe next week or the following week I can get to it. I saw the live stream I did a month ago with you guys. I said I had like 8 videos recorded at that point in time that weren't edited yet. I think out of those 8, you've seen 5 of them, and 3 of them are still not edited. I still have them because there's been so much going on, I feel like, lately. Um, what was my? I lost my train of thought again. See, I make these side comments and I don't remember what I was talking about to begin with, which is funny. Geez, yeah, no, I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss for where I was. All right, well, let's go. Let's continue to go. Oh, Nickelodeon. That's right. That's right. Anyways, Loud House killing Nickelodeon. So I feel like SpongeBob has gone on for way too long, and that was more so what killed Nickelodeon, is their heavy reliance on SpongeBob and the heavy reliance on Fairly Odd Parents for a while as well. Those shows went on to the point where it's like the diminishing returns of it, right? Like, I understand SpongeBob is still large, but I feel like at a point in time, like, you've ruined the name of that series now. Like, pre-season 5 SpongeBob, awesome. Post, like, season 7, terrible. Like, I watched season 5, 6, 7, I think, as a kid. I don't remember liked them all that much, but I know people say season 4 is like the breaking off point because that's when Steven Hillenberg left. Unfortunately, he eventually came back and then passed away unfortunately from ALS, um, which is really just a terrible and sad situation. So rest in peace to Steven Hillenberg. But I think that's what killed Nickelodeon. And also too, like if you just look at the output of their series post like '08, '09, '07, around there, they just the shows just aren't as good. Like let's pull this up real quick just to go over this very briefly. Um, I just remember the point where like Mighty B back at the Barnyard, like when those all came out, that's when it was like, all right, it's the downfall of Nickelodeon. All right, so I'm looking here right now. Like the '90s, like I'm not even going to go through the '90s, right? Like we know the '90s was huge for Nick. You got Hey Arnold, you got Rocko's Modern Life, Real Monsters, Angry Beavers, Cat Dog, Wild Thornberries, Rocket Power. Awesome, right? Great shows. The 2000s, right? You start out in 2000 as Told by Ginger. I feel like this is the point at which we're like an extension of the '90s Nick, like Fairly Odd Parents, Invader Zim, Chalk Zone, Jimmy Neutron. Like this is the extension of like the '90s Nick, right? You get All Grown Up, the Rugrats sequel show, which like honestly looking back on that, it's kind of shocking that that actually happened as a series. Just think about like the Rugrats as like all grown up, even though they're not all grown up. They're kind of what are they in high school? I think at the time. I don't remember. I haven't seen that in years. But really cool series conceptually, right? We go to '03, Life as a Teenage Robot. I know people love that show, was never a fan of it. You got Danny Phantom, you got Avatar The Last Airbender in '04 and '05, Cat Scratch. I loved Cat Scratch. Series that was not on the air all that long, but love that series. The X's I barely remember. El Tigre, this is where we're at the point where I feel like Nick fell off big time. When El Tigre came out, Talk in the Power of Juju, excuse me, back at the Barnyard, Mighty B. So '07 is like the downfall of Nick in my mind. You have Penguins of Madagascar, Fanboy and Chum Chum, Planet Sheen, Tough Puppy, Winx Club, Kung Fu Panda. Like that was it for Nick. Like yeah, they did have some cool shows like The Legend of Korra. I think people like the 2012. I think people like the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series, but I'm not too sure about that. I remember Sanjay and Craig was a thing I watched an episode or two of, but like after that, I really feel like it fell off a cliff, and just really just the quality of their series after '07 was just not there anymore, or after '05 I guess I should say, because I think '05 was Avatar, Cat Scratch, the X's. And yeah, that's my opinion. What killed Nick is their heavy reliance on SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents, and just the fact that after 2005 they really didn't have, for the most part, there might be a few exceptions, but their quality of their series just wasn't great. And JJ saying El Tigre was fire. I never watched it. I don't remember. Is that? I think it's like the one with the like cat guy or something. Or he's like a lion or something. I don't remember. Um. All right. Let's see. I've heard of Dan Versus, but I really don't know what it is. Nick, I'm sorry. All Grown Up had a banger theme music. I don't remember it. Rock Paper Scissors isn't fantastic. So is Wild Park. I've seen the commercials for Rock Paper Scissors, and it looks like a really funny series. But I know people were really critical of it, so I don't really know. I haven't seen it. I can't speak to it. And Wild Park, I heard of. I don't really know about it. Casa Grandes, I heard of. That's the Loud House spinoff. Oh, okay, yeah. Yancey makes a very good point. I didn't touch on any of the live action series. From a live action standpoint, I did not see any of them prior to Drake and Josh. I'm looking here. Like I don't remember Hey Dude, Welcome Freshman, Clarissa Explains It, Salute Your Shorts, The Secret World of Alex Mack, My Brother and Me. I don't remember any of these shows. Keenan and Kel I know of. I never really watched it, but I definitely know of it. I know of the Amanda Show. I think it was called, right. The Amanda Show was where Drake and Josh, the actors Drake and Josh, not the characters. That's where they got their start. Romeo Tana. I don't remember any of these. No One Knows Best. The Brothers Garcia. What are? I don't recognize these at all. Drake and Josh loved. Ned's the Classified School Survival Guide loved. Kind of crazy. I don't know if you guys have seen the stuff with, I forgot his name, but that one like towards the end of last year, one of the actors was homeless, and they were showing him on, TikTok and Instagram reels and stuff. That's a crazy situation. I don't know what's currently happening with all that. I hope he's doing all right though. We got Unfabulous. I don't remember at all. Zoe 101 I absolutely loved. Mr. Media I thought was so stupid. I'm sorry. Didn't watch any of these shows just for kicks. Just Jordan, Naked Brothers Band, iCarly. Controversial opinion. Did not like iCarly. True Jackson VP I thought was really cool. I like Big Time Rush. I like Victorious. After 2010, fell off completely. I saw a few episodes of Sam and Cat. Other than that, I can't speak to any of those shows after 2010. I have no idea what any of them were really about. I know Henry Danger, the Thundermans were big. Yeah. Other than that, I didn't even know the iCarly reboot ended. Would you look at that? All right, let's see if we have one final question before we get off this stream. We sign off here. Well, on the topic of the merger for Paramount and that Nick and Cartoon Network are now going to be under the same umbrella, we have Nashua, which I hope I said your name right, saying, remember that one commercial Cartoon Network did where they invaded Nick? I don't personally remember seeing it, but I remember it in the sense of I've seen it post whatever year that was that it aired. Like, I don't remember seeing it on the air because I didn't watch Nick that much back then, I don't think. I mainly was a Cartoon Network kid, and I would watch Nick here and there, but I don't remember that commercial per se. And to be honest with you, like, I feel like even if, like, I did see that commercial growing up, I wouldn't remember it because I probably wouldn't blink twice or think about it because I'm like, oh, those are just the Cartoon Network characters that I watch on Cartoon Network. How much were we really paying attention to these commercials as kids, right? But I think that it's kind of funny to end it off on this question because the fact of the matter is that we had this, commercial where Cartoon Network invades Nick, and it's like, oh, come to our channel. I don't remember it in detail, but like, oh, come to our channel. It's the better place to watch cartoons. And now these companies are going to be, or these brands are going to be under the same umbrella in a matter of a year's time, assuming everything goes well with these regulatory agencies. That's kind of crazy. I mean, that is kind of crazy that these long-standing rivals became or are we gonna become just sister channels soon, which is crazy. And I did say that was the last question. I do see one thing that just popped up in my eyes gravitate towards it, saying 123 or 123 is asking rather, what do I think of Big City Greens? I watched a few. I've let's just say I've seen like a handful of episodes. I want to say of it. It's not a series that I actively seek out, but if there's nothing else on the air, like in general across all the channels I watch, and I see Big City Greens is on, I will watch it, and I do think it's a good series. I enjoy it I enjoyed what I've seen of it. Again, it's not one of those shows that I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to go stop what I'm doing to go watch this show because it's on the air. I have to binge watch all of it. No, that's not the case for me. But I do think it's a really fun series in its own right. And yeah, that's it for the first ever Ask DC Network Live. I think that might be the first time I mentioned the name of this stream in this stream, which probably should have done in the intro, but nevertheless, thank you guys for all of the amazing questions. Thank you to Yahtzee for the 2 super chats. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream as much as I did. It's been a lot of fun. And let me know as well if you'd like to see me do more, or not even more, but just bring back Ask DC Network as a series, because I haven't done it in like 2 years. This is the first one, and obviously it's a bit of a different format. It's live. So maybe we'll do a formal Ask DC Network video over the next couple of months or something like that. If you guys want to see that, let me know down below or in the chat or in the comment section if you're watching this on repeat. And yeah, thanks for joining me for Ask DC Network Live number 1. I had a fun time. I hope you guys did too. Thank you for all the great questions. And yeah, for those of you asking about the live action Ben 10 series, or not even series, excuse me, the live action Ben 10 movie and the possibilities of that happening, stay tuned to tomorrow's video because I might have an update for you on that, or something cool that I found out about it, which is kind of crazy. Anyways, I see 123 saying thank you for the live stream tonight, DC. Thank you for coming, 123. Cartoon lovers saying you have a nice night, man. You too. I hope you enjoy your night. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.